Hi, my name's Sparkplug. I'm here with DIY Ready, and I'm here to show you how to take broken apart pallets and make a workshop bench. Here are the tools and materials necessary. This is a circular saw. We have a drill. We have 2 sets of screws, 3-inch screws and 1 1/4-inch screws. We have our measuring tape, a pencil. We have safety gloves, safety goggles, and earplugs. This here is part of the pallet that I broke apart earlier that we're going to put back together in the shape that we want. So first, I'm going to take my earplugs and put them in. It's always good to wear protection for ear and eyes and hands while working with power tools so that you can keep all your body parts safe. Here are the safety goggles for your eyes. And these are safety gloves. You always want to wear the right protection because you never know what's going to happen when you're using power drills and power tools. All right, I'm going to start by cleaning off the table so that we have a place to work. All right, here are 2x4s that I pulled off the pallets that we broke apart. So I'm going to take it and measure it to the point that I want it to be. So I want this table to be 60 inches, which is 5 feet. And I'm going to take my measuring tape and pull it all the way to 5 feet and mark my spot with my pencil. All right, I'm going to take the shortest end and push it off the table. Whoop. And then I'm going to grab my circular saw and come over here and cut. I'm going to make sure to put the most weight and the longest end on the table so that it has a place to hold it while I hold the other side to cut. I'm going to find the mark on the table or on the wood, and I'm going to cut with my circular saw. All right. Now I'm going to take the one I just cut and I'm going to measure the last 2 with the same piece of wood. I'm going to pick the best end. Some of these are not the nicest because it is pallet wood, so I'm going to pick the best side to use for my pieces. Make sure that I line everything up so that's nice and even. All right. Then I'm going to do the same thing that I just did. Let me flip this one around. I'm going to come back around and cut these pieces. Alrighty. Okay. And now that we have our workbench cut, we're going to get it ready to screw the tops on. So, I'm going to go ahead and set up the 3 so that they're pretty even and they're ready to screw the tops on. For this part, you're going to need your 1 and 1/4 screws. And the other pieces to your pallet. So I'm going to start off with one corner, and I'm going to make it flush. Exchange bits so that the bit fits the right screw, and then grab some screws and get them ready to drill in. Generally, you want to tack each corner with at least 2 screws. Be careful to try not to split the wood because it's easy to split. So be really gentle. All right, now that I got the front, I'm gonna get my back even. I'm gonna do the same thing. Once I have that done, I'm going to line the middle up so that it's flush and pretty even. And centered too. You want to be sure that you center it. Once you get this side done, you're going to keep going piece by piece by piece by piece so that they're squished and aligned together. And sometimes you'll see there's gaps and stuff, and you can just play with it and move it around and see what works the best, because it's not even as pallet furniture, but it looks good when you get it all together. So you just keep going, and you slowly but surely start putting it together. And our last top piece. Now, it's a little long, so if you have another piece that might fit, you should go ahead and check that out. I have this one. It's not quite long enough, but I can always trim these edges off real quick to make it look more flush. Plus, it's a pallet table, so it's never going to be quite perfect. Okay, so now that I'm done with this part, I am going to put the sides on it. I think first I'm going to cut this so that it's flush with the table. I'm actually going to push this down on the ground so that I can reach it. So I'm going to grab my Sawzall, and I'm going to chop this piece off right here so that it's pretty flush. Woo! All right, I'm gonna flip this over and do the other side. Alrighty, awesome. Okay, so now that I have this guy flush, I'm gonna put it back on the table and I'm gonna put some ends on it. I have a couple of these smaller pieces that I had from the pallet that I'm just gonna place on the ends here to make it look pretty nice. going to grab one end and pull it flush. Screw it in. Then come back to the other side and do the same thing. And then screw the rest of it in. And then I'm going to do the same thing on the other side. Now you have the top of your table pretty much completely done. So the next step is to put legs on it. Now that we have the table flipped over, we're going to put the legs on. I'm going to grab the extra 2x4s from the pallet that's left over. And I have some extra 2x4 just in case that I need to have the right measurements for these legs. I kind of want this table to be at least 3 feet tall. So I'm going to see how long these pieces are left from the pallet that we made. And make sure that they're 3 feet. If not, I'm going to use this new 2x4. And it's definitely more than 3 feet. If you kind of want to figure out how long your table's going to be or how tall you want it to be, kind of put it next to yourself and figure out what a good height is. For me, I think 3 feet is a good height. I'm pretty short, so I don't need the table to be too tall. All right, so I'm going to put it back up here, and I'm going to measure out 3 feet. And do the same thing I did when I was measuring the length of the table. And because I don't have that many of these 2x4s left, I'm going to actually have to cut into a new one. Sometimes that happens. I can't even see. All right, now that I have it marked, I'm going to take my circular saw, and I'm going to go and cut the mark again. All right. I'm going to make sure that my mark is the same on this one. Check it again. And cut again. Since I'm going to use new 2x4, I'm going to pull it up and mark exactly where I need to be. Okay, I'm going to mark where I need to mark on the new 2x4, just like I did this old one. But since it's way longer, I'm going to come and mark twice. And then I'm going to cut. One. And since this side's shorter, I'm going to flip it. Two. All right. Now we have 4 full legs. So now that we have our feet cut, I am going to drill the feet in using the 3-inch screws because we're drilling between 2-inch 2x4s. So I'm going to go to each corner and put a leg just like this. So I'm going to leave this here while I grab my screws and my drill. Now that I have this in the corner, I'm going to take my screw and I'm going to drive it home. Now that we have all 4 legs on, I'm going to turn it over and see how wobbly this thing is. It's made out of pallet furniture, so nothing is exactly perfect, but it's a table and I think it's going to work well. So let's see what it's like. So here is our pallet workbench. There are a few more additions that I can teach you in other videos to stabilize this thing. We can put gussets or cross beams or plenty of other things to make this better and more stable and sturdier. And I was thinking about putting a shelf in too. That's something that I can teach you guys later. So for now, here is a quick and easy way to make pallet furniture, and I hope you guys enjoy. This is Sparkplug with DIY Ready. Please be safe and use your protection while you're working, and I hope to see you soon. Have fun.